Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. It has been quite some time since the last time we spoke. I overdid it. If you can hear my dog in the background crying, please ignore her. I have gone into the living room 6 times now trying to figure out what she is so worried over, and I cannot figure it out. I've moved her toy basket. I've picked up toys. I've put the toys in the basket. I've dumped the toys on the floor. I've looked under the couch, behind the furniture. There's nothing. I don't know what she wants. I'm completely perplexed. So if you hear her throughout this video, just ignore it because I can't figure it out. Anyways, it has been a while since the last time we spoke. I overdid it. Took a week off of filming, and then the week after that, my day job went kablooey. And I was working overtime and completely losing my mind. I wasn't able to film. I wasn't really able to do a whole lot of crocheting in general. And yeah, we got a little behind. I had to skip last week, but honestly, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. I appreciate everybody for the kind words for skipping and taking care of myself versus just posting content for the sake of posting content. I never want to be the channel that posts a garbage video that's unedited, or at least not edited well, and doesn't add any value to anything, just so I can get the views and whatever. That's not what I'm going to do here ever. So all of that to say, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Tabitha and I am the maker and creator behind Safari Stitches, and on my channel I mostly talk about my crochet business. We go to markets together. I do market recaps, I do market prepping, pattern writing, pattern testing, all sorts of really fun and exciting things. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap the like button on this video, and comment below. Let me know you're here. If you're working on anything while you're watching this video, make sure to let us know what you're working on down there as well. So if you didn't notice by the title of this video or the thumbnail of the video, today I'm just going to do like a little bit of a business pulse check, I suppose. If you watched my 2025 goal planning video, it'll pop up somewhere here. I'll link it in the description below so you can kind of see what I set up for myself for this year. I can kind of actually, you know what? I've got my handy dandy business notebook here in front of me. My 2025 goal setting, I'll just run through it really, really quick. That way you don't even have to go find the other video and watch it. If you want me to go more in depth, you can go watch it, but I'll just run through it really, really quick. I said I wanted to do fewer markets, but more substantial markets. I want to do $15,000 in sales at my markets. We'll get to that in a minute. Switch to Shopify for their POS system, which I have also done. So I want to do a proper website setup, which I haven't really done an overhaul of my website. I'm in the process of quote unquote rebranding. I'm not changing my business name. I'm not changing my logo, but I am probably going to switch up my brand colors a little bit. Maintaining my Etsy shop better. Haven't really done that. I haven't uploaded anything new to my Etsy shop all year so far, which is not great. I need to be better. YouTube, my goal is 5,000 subs. I think we're at about 1,200 right now. So we are slowly growing, which is totally fine. And then my Instagram, 5,000 followers as well, which I think I'm still below 1,000. So not much growth over there, but I'm also not like super crazy active over on Instagram. So I also need to be better at that. And then my general business goals, 10 new patterns. Haven't done, I mean, obviously that's spaced over the whole year. I wanted to write one pattern every month. I did that in January, did not meet February or March. So we're behind, but it's fine. I've got 3 patterns in the works. I've written a 4th as well. I guess now is a good time to say, here's my Instagram handle. Jump over there, give me a follow if you feel like it. Help me get to the 5,000 followers. But I'm mentioning it because, let me grab him. There's going to be a tester call. By the time this video goes up, there will be a tester call for this guy, my little my rhino. Rowan the Rhino is his name. And this is one of my new patterns of the 4 that I currently have in the works. And I've got seeds in my brain for more, so stay tuned. But I do all my pattern testing, I do through Instagram. So if you ever want to test for me, make sure you're following me over there. Stay tuned. And like I said, the tester call for that guy should be up and live when this video goes up. New products, that's always kind of a thing. I've revealed my stitch markers on here. I haven't launched those yet. I've added apparel, and then I have a couple of other ideas for some new products that are hopefully coming soon. Be more organized, also haven't done that. Do more pattern testing. I'm actually doing a pattern test right now, which I'm really excited about. And then a monetary goal of mine, I want to do $30,000 in gross sales by the end of the year. Okay, so now that I have run through that, I wasn't planning on spending that much time going through that. But again, if you want to get some more in-depth explanations as to why I want those or why I put those goals in place for myself, you can go and watch that video. I will link it below for you. As for the kind of like pulse check of the business, I can tell you right now, I'm behind. I haven't made as much money as I wanted to in the first quarter, but traditionally, the first quarter is usually pretty freaking slow as far as like anything online goes, mostly because people are more worried about their taxes. Once we get past tax day in April, it usually starts to pick up until you hit the summer months, and then people are just kind of out and about. So there's 2 periods of time in sales in general, at least online sales, that slow down quite a lot. And that would be the beginning of the year and then the very middle during the hot summer months. People aren't really shopping online as much. So I've got some totals here, and I'm going to give it to you right now, and we're just going to kind of like talk about it a little bit and maybe brainstorm some ideas on how I can kind of get these numbers up a little bit more. So in January, I have 3 sources of income. I make money off of YouTube. I am monetized on here. So when you watch my videos, I do make a little bit of money off of the ads that are run in my videos. So thank you so much for watching, because even though it's not a whole lot, which you will hear in just a moment, I do very much appreciate that you all watch my content and do generate a tiny bit of income for me. It's obviously free for you to do, which is great because you're supporting a small business without having to spend your own money, just your time. And hopefully you can be productive while you're watching it. So YouTube is one, Etsy obviously is another one, and then in-person markets. And I've kind of lumped markets and Shopify together at the current moment because I'm not really selling anything outside of markets through Shopify at the moment. So in January, and I'm looking down at my notebook, that's why I'm not making eye contact. So in January, YouTube, I made a big goose egg, $0 from YouTube. Etsy, I did $710.20 in gross sales. That includes all of the fees, the shipping costs, and everything. And then markets, another big goose egg. I didn't have any markets in January. I don't really foresee that changing. I think January is pretty typical to not have markets. 1, it's really cold. 2, it's following the holidays, so people aren't really shopping for non-necessity items anyways in January. So I probably will never have a value there in January. For February, YouTube, another big goose egg. I still did not meet the $100 threshold that you have to have on YouTube to get paid out. So another goose egg. On Etsy, I did $781.24 in sales, and that is mostly custom orders. I do sell the occasional pattern, but not very frequently. And then markets, I made $608.79, and that was my first market of the year, and I was pretty happy with that. And then in March, we finally got past the YouTube threshold, and I got paid out from YouTube $127.71. And that is how much money I have made since I got monetized, which was back in December. Etsy, The Etsy was a little bit slower this month, or in March for me. I only did $657.35 in sales. And again, those numbers do not include the fees, marketing costs, or shipping costs that come out of that. That is gross. Markets, I did $778.62. And then something that I just recently added in March is Etsy. They have like a Etsy, it's a influencer program, I guess, through Etsy. So when you see like, when I share links to patterns or products that are on Etsy and it's like a bit.ly link, that is through the Etsy program. So they provide that link. So if you go through that link to purchase a pattern or a product, I get a percentage of the sale price at no additional cost to you. So that was something that I added towards like the middle of March last year. Was I joined that program, I got approved, and now all of the links that go to Etsy patterns are the bit.ly links. So that makes me just a very small, I made 16 cents in March off of that. Drinks are on me, everybody. So March was a good month. YouTube obviously helped. So, my gross for the first quarter, gross income for the first quarter, YouTube, I made $127.71. On Etsy, my gross income was $2,148.79. And then my markets / Shopify sales were $1,387.41 for a gross total of $3,536.20 from my business. Now, if you do the math of 30,000 divided by, 30,000 divided by 4 quarters, I need to make $7,500 per quarter in order to reach my goal. Now, I'm expecting that to pick up towards the end of the year. Last year, the end of the year was absolutely bananas. So I'm not, I guess, panicking at the current moment about making my goals. I try not to stress about my goals. I mean, I just want to have a really quick side quest here and talk about goal setting, and because I know there are people out there where setting goals can actually be an added stress to their life. I am not that type of person. I love having a goal to reach. Do I get bummed out if I don't reach that goal? Absolutely. I absolutely do. However, when I have a goal that's set and it's, I have a time frame to fulfill that, my brain functions a little bit better with that in mind, because I can make a plan, I can make a to-do list. That's why I make my market lists. Like when I'm market prepping, if you've ever watched one of my market prepping videos, you know I have really long market prepping lists, and I love to check things off as I go. It's just very satisfying for me. So goal setting is something that I really thrive underneath. I know that's not the case. So if you struggle with I'm trying to figure out a way to say this, but if you struggle with getting discouraged if you don't make a goal, or like, for example, if you write patterns and you launch a new pattern and you don't sell any copies of that pattern, if you struggle with discouragement or like really severe imposter syndrome, which I suffer from both of those, it's important to set yourself goals that, one, are manageable for you, realistic for your business and your life and your time. I would have loved to have set a goal of say, hey, I'm going to make 50 grand this year. But realistically, I have my full-time job. I'm limiting the number of markets that I'm going to be doing. So there's already factors that are limiting my ability to get to a specific goal because I don't do this full-time. I think it's really important to realistically look at your business and say, hey, like, I have this amount of time to dedicate to my business. what can I realistically get done in that time? Because I think a lot of people are trying to shoot for the moon, and I really, 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 really strongly encourage shooting for the moon. Like, I love that. But you also have to be realistic in that your moon may not be as high as somebody else's moon, if that makes sense. Like, I know some people on here are like, oh, my goal is to post 2 videos to YouTube every single week. I want to post to social media at least once a day on every single platform. And I also want to crochet for an hour a day. I want to read for an hour a day. I want to be able to, like, there's just like some things that realistically, I don't know. Anyways, I digress. All I'm trying to say is setting goals, I think, is really healthy and can be really good for you, but they have to be realistic goals. Otherwise, you do potentially, like, you may run into like getting upset when you can't reach those goals. And looking at these numbers, I can't lie to you, the 30 grand for this year might be a little bit of a stretch, because I don't even think I made half that last year. So I more than doubled my monetary goal, which is, I mean, that's like a big jump, but I also recognize in my head, like, hey, if you don't meet this goal, it's okay. Get as close as you possibly can. And that is kind of the way that I structure my goal setting, is like, hey, set a goal that's really high, but not so high that it's like so far out of reach that if you don't get anywhere close, that it's going to upset you. But if I set a goal at 30 grand and I make 25, am I going to be am I going to be bummed I didn't make 30? Yeah. But am I going to be really upset? Probably not, because I got really close. I made a lot of money doing what I love. So it's just kind of a perspective thing. But that to say, the $3,500 total is obviously less than half of what I really needed to make in the first quarter to kind of stay on track. The fact that, what is that, $4,000 short, spread out over the next 9 months, I think that's totally feasible to catch up on. I really do, especially because I'm about to start really leaning into my patterns. I'm about to hopefully launch my rhino pattern, and then there will be 3 more patterns that follow it up fairly quickly. And I could even do more than one pattern in the month of April. So I don't know. I do see myself balancing that out a little bit, so I'm not quite as worried. To kind of dive a little bit more deep into this, I guess, first quarter reset is kind of what I'm calling this, because it's a time for me to reflect on how I did in the first quarter, the first 3 months of the year, reflect on what I could do better and how I can improve what I'm doing, and then set some, like, I guess I was going to say mini goals, but mini side quests. I love side quests. Side quests are my favorite. So we're going to call them side quests. But kind of set some like side quests to kind of go on to help hone a new skill or improve something in my life in any facet, really, not necessarily just my business. So I'm just kind of taking this time to really, really lean into the reset mindset. First thing that I have absolutely 100% got to do is reset my workspace. This office, you see the pretty yarn wall. I mean, you can see now it looks a little different from the last video, because I actually just, and one of the things that was on this reset list was to purge yarn that I'm never going to use. So my big twist, posh stuff, I was trying to use it up, and I made my new patterns out of the gray and the white in that yarn, but I never, ever, 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 ever reached for it. And it was taking up like 2.5 cubes, and I just bought a bunch of the Premier Basics chenille stuff, and I had nowhere to put it. So I was like, you know what? I never reached for that yarn. I'm going to purge it. Somebody bought it. I'm shipping it out tomorrow through UPS. It's out of my house, and I've made space. I could empty another box of yarn and get this yarn put away. It's all nice and pretty. I don't have a box on my floor. And you see this, you see the prettiness, you see the organized, well, I say it's organized. I mean, it's still a little chaotic, but it's organized. The rest of my office and my craft space is not. It's in complete shambles. I have been reorganizing it for probably 6 months now. I still haven't finished. There's videos coming at some point of me resetting, but I was going to do it in multiple parts, and that was going to be my video last week, was part 1 of me reorganizing, but I was like, people want to see like start to finish transformations, so I'm going to save you guys the parts on those and just kind of do one fell swoop, one video. It's probably going to be a really long one of me reorganizing my entire office, and that's coming, but that is something that I have absolutely got to do, because functioning in this, now that I'm doing live sales, I can't function under this chaos anymore. It just doesn't work for me and my goals. So that is priority numero uno, is cleaning my space. The next was purge unused yarn. I've already done that. I have a couple of other things, like there's some fur yarn down here, and then Hobie, I think toucan yarn is what I have right here. Yeah. I've never reached for this either, so I think I'm probably going to destash that as well and free up another cube. And then some of the fur yarn I think I can get rid of. So there's definitely some work here to be done. I know I have a basket of cotton yarn somewhere that I need to get rid of. Just like overall cleaning out. And spring cleaning, it's springtime, that's what we do in the spring, is we clean, purge, get rid of things, sell things, all that kind of fun stuff. So that's kind of like really on my to-do list. Speaking of spring cleaning, overhauling my Etsy. I want to retake photos. I want to update titles. I want to update tags. I want to update descriptions. I want to kind of following suit with the rebranding. I did already create a new banner photo, and I'm obsessed with it. I love my new banner photo on Etsy, so I think I'm just going to kind of carry that theme through to my website. The colors that I chose for that I really like. So I think that's kind of that's another thing that I really want to do, is just kind of really fine-tune my Etsy listings. Photography is something that I've always struggled with. Right now I just hold the items in front of like a vine wall, but I think I want to change it up. I want to crochet a really cozy cotton blanket to take my photos on. I don't know if anybody here watches Awestruck Crochet, but I'm obsessed with the way that she photographs her items. Her reels on Instagram are just so like chef's kiss. Like, I'm obsessed with her. I'm obsessed with her vibes. I'm obsessed with her aesthetic. I love it so much. So I am stealing ideas from her. So yeah. But so I really want to crochet like a really cute cotton blanket, and I have a ton of cotton yarn that I could use to do that. So, and then the other thing with Etsy is like listing some more items. I have photos. I want to do my baby Della ducks. I want to get up on Etsy. My big Della ducks, I want to rephotograph and then add headbands. Like, there's just some fine tuning, refining, and just kind of rework over on Etsy. Now, that's probably going to be a later task. I don't know if that's going to happen in April, because I've already got a lot going on. And I've got 2 very big markets coming up. One on the last Sunday of April, and then the first Saturday in May. So they're back-to-back weekends, and they're huge. The one in May is actually, it was one of my second largest market last year, and I sold 75 items, I think, at that market. And I'm predicting the one before that is probably going to be just as good, if not better, because the Christmas market that I did really well at last year was put on by the same coordinator that's doing the one at the end of April. And that Christmas market was the best market of the year. So basically, I've got best markets of the year coming up. Little stressed. It's fine. So it's probably going to like be spread throughout the whole second quarter of the year. So April, May, June, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have to get everything done when I say I want to get them done. I'm pretty loosey-goosey when it comes to like finishing things on time, just because I have ADHD brain, so I tend to get distracted by things or start new projects or um, like market prepping. Like I'm all over the place when I market prep. Sometimes I really want to just sit down and make tiny things. Sometimes I want to make big things and just repetitive tasks. And so I don't know. It's a whole thing. So, and then the very last thing on my list is working on my website. And not just my like rebranding with the colors and everything. I want to promote my website more. And that there's a couple of ways that I'm planning on doing that. One is getting my patterns listed to my website, and I'm going to adjust the prices on my website so that they're just a little bit cheaper than on Etsy, since I don't have to pay Etsy fees and just the website fees, which are a lot lower compared to Etsy, so I can actually lower the price over there. So if you've been eyeballing any of my patterns, stay tuned. They will be coming to my website soon for a little bit cheaper price. So that is another big priority, is getting my patterns up over there. I really want to remake some of my older items and take new photos for the pattern listings. Penny the Popping Turtle, that was my first ever pattern I wrote. The pictures are not great. Not great at all. And they're not great in the actual pattern itself either. So there's a lot of work to be done over there too. I want to just kind of revamp everything. And then the other one is I want to create a QR code sign to my website for my market displays that says something along the lines of like, hey, do you crochet too? Check out my digital patterns here, and have a QR code to my website page that only lists my patterns. That way I can target people that want the finished item and people that want to make the finished item. Anyways, wow, I am rambling. It's been 36 minutes. That's kind of my reset, which is a lot of talking and yapping, and I hope maybe I said something in here to inspire you to do your quarterly reset as well. A lot of people do monthly resets. I don't do monthly. I can't do monthly. My brain, I need more time to get things done because my priorities switch from week to week depending on what I have coming up or like work or whatever. So I can't do weekly resets and I can't really do monthly resets. It's just not a lot of time for me to get things done necessarily because a lot of my projects are long track projects. So I think that is going to be absolutely everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was informative. I hope it was helpful, inspiring, all of the things. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more of my videos. We've got a lot of market prepping coming up because, like I said, my two biggest markets are coming up in the next, I think I've got 3 weeks to the first one and 4 weeks to the second one. So we've got a very, very busy schedule coming up in the next 3 weeks. So stay tuned for those videos. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. If you were working on anything while you were listening to me yap away over here, make sure you drop it in the comments below and let us know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!